Dominator King's Dominion is one of the world's largest B&M Floorless coasters, and it even holds the record for the longest B&M Floorless coaster at 4,210 feet. Despite being the world's longest floorless coaster, the ride surprisingly seems shorter than the other ones, but is so far the most intense and the best one in my opinion. I've ridden most of the B&M Floorless coasters in the US, specifically on the East Coast and Midwest. The only exceptions are Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando, Superman Krypton Coaster at Fiesta Texas, Medusa Discovery Kingdom, Patriot at California's Great America, and Scream at Magic Mountain. In terms of size and intensity, Dominator is most similar to Bizarro at Six Flags Great Adventure, my previous favorite B&M looper. Dominator stands at 157 feet and drops down 148 feet, reaching a top speed of 65 miles an hour. These stats are fairly large when comparing them to other B&M Floorless coasters, and Dominator truly dominates over the midway at King's Dominion. Riders enter the entrance plaza by walking right under the twisted drop and the enormous 135-foot tall vertical loop. Dominator does not have any sort of theme, however, for a coaster that was built atop a parking lot, it looks pretty nice, as the park planted some grass and plants around the ride. When I went to King's Dominion back in July of 2019, the park was presenting average operations for a B&M Floorless coaster. They ran 2 trains and weren't too bad with stacking. From what I've seen, most parks operate their 3-train Floorless coasters with just 2 trains, as the rides either don't get high enough attendance or the crew works better with 2 trains. However, being King's Dominion's most popular ride, I feel like all 3 trains could have been running, as this was the longest line we waited in, besides Twisted Timbers. However, even with 2 trains, the line was only 15 minutes at most, which just shows how great capacity B&Ms have. The only reason I say they should run 3 trains is because I could imagine on a busy day, the line can get a little bit longer, and I'm sure they may run 3 trains, but we were there on kind of a medium busy day. The ride experience starts with the unique pre-lift section for at least B&M, with just a few mildly banked turns to the lift instead of just a flat turn or a one and done drop and bank. Dominator then climbs a 157-foot tall lift, in which you get decent views of the park to your left, and once you crest the lift, you are greeted with a tight, twisted drop. This drop is best experienced in the back row as the train twists down and picks up a lot of speed. You get some major whip and sustained laterals down this drop. This utterly shocked me, as Bizarro's drop is much tamer compared to this. The next element is the 135-foot tall vertical loop, which is one of B&M's great elements on their coasters. In the front, you'll be crushed with positive G-force and sustain it just past the crest, and then you'll be kind of hanging on your restraint as you wait for the rest of the train to catch up. In the back row, you are also crushed with positives, but at the top of the loop you get some amazing hang time and then slam back into your seat once you hit the valley. This is kind of equivalent to a modern B&M hyper coaster in terms of how you get great airtime and then slam back into your seat, but instead you're getting hang time. Next up is a low to the ground, high speed, overbank turn. This element is awesome up front because you really feel the speed of the ride and you get some awesome head choppers from the Cobra Roll supports right above you. After this turn, you go into an elevated turnaround, which doesn't really provide any forces whatsoever. It's just kind of there. Next is the Cobra Roll, which has made me appreciate Cobra Rolls a lot more than I used to. It really showed me how fun of elements they can be. In the back row, you have some good sustained positives climbing up into it, and at the peak, you get some hang time. Then twist out, giving you more positives, and then repeat the first part in reverse. I've never liked Cobra Rolls, as they usually provide a headbanging or an uncomfortable feeling, and they really aren't that forceful. However, Dominator's was exceptionally smooth, and had some great forces to it. This is surprising, as Dominator has actually been relocated from the closed Geauga Lake in Aurora, Ohio. This ride was originally built as a Six Flags Floorless and Batman Night Flight, but was then relocated after Cedar Fair shut down the park. Continuing with the layout, the ride then raises up into a block break, and this is great for 2 reasons. 1, capacity, and 2, the drop-off provides excellent airtime. This feels exactly like the drop-off Nitro's block break, and with very strong floater airtime. The next 2 elements are interlocking corkscrews, which are taken at very high speeds, so they are forceful and disorienting. After that, the ride swoops down into some high-speed, low-to-the-ground turns. If you're on your left side of the train, it's so much fun to stick your arm out and try to touch the ground. You'll be nowhere close, but it makes you feel a little bit closer to the ground than you actually are. The ride then raises up into the brakes, and in the front, you may get some mild floater airtime depending on the day. Overall, I only have one complaint for Dominator, and it's the fact that it lacks a 0G roll. 0G rolls are one of B&M's best elements, and if the ride had one, it would really take it up a few levels. I currently have this ride ranked at number 25 in my top 25 coasters list, and only slightly ahead of Bizarro, for its sense of speed, airtime, and stronger forces overall. Bizarro does have the edge in a better set of inversions, as it has 2 more, and one of them is a 0G roll. In terms of which ride is better, Dominator is the clear winner. However, when it comes to the entire experience, Bizarro's slight theme and effects brings it fairly even with Dominator. And overall, I'll be giving this ride an 8 out of 10, as it provides a forceful ride experience and is smooth for the most part. It does give a little headbanging on the corkscrews, but nothing that'll make the ride bad. So Dominator sits in at number 25 because 1, it's a great ride, and it seems like most of my mid top 50, around the 25 spot, a little ahead and a little behind, are mostly filled with loopers, as because I do prefer airtime, so you'll be seeing my top 15 all filled with great airtime filled coasters, and my mid top 50 filled with more loopers, as that's what I prefer second, as I do love some good forceful inversions. And Dominator really shows the best of B&M's work. What do you think of Dominator, and where does it rank for you? Thanks for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, consider leaving a like and possibly subscribing. YouTube is telling me that actually 93% of my viewers aren't subscribed, which is a crazy high number. So if you find yourself watching my videos more often than usual and you aren't subscribed, a subscription is really appreciated. So once again, make sure you guys leave a like, comment down what your opinions on this ride below, and of course, I'll see you guys in the next video.